Greetings, superior beings, greetings, supreme being. Welcome to Universal Peace Television, the channel, or PC Hoffman, WFWN on YouTube. This is the broadcast. How could a brain parasite enter the skull with minimal effort? ? Worldbuilding.stackexchange.com. So then we can go to the website immediately. And so this is a website where people can ask questions. I think. Actually, I don't really know what type of website this is. But let's read my answer and read the other info on this page as well.
How could a brain parasite enter the skull with minimal effort? Zero downvote. Most parasites that enter the brain do so via the bloodstream probably. Most parasites are invisible to the naked eye. Is it possible a centipede, Lithobius forficatus, has entered my brain via the sinuses or via the eye socket where the brain casing is thinnest or absent and drenched in insulating mucus? One time when standing in the bathroom in front of a mirror to check my eye because I thought a big dust particle had flown into it, I saw a brown small centipede. Because I have caught several of them and there are markings in my feces with the exact length and shape of these tiny centipedes, yellow sticky poison and insect bites which I have also photographed on my father's body, but especially because they bite in my anus and make rattling noises in my throat which I have recorded. See my YouTube channel. It is absolutely clear to me there are centipedes in my body. Other people have contacted me that have caught these centipedes and found them in their stool. The doctors have no cure, only for millipedes, niclosamide, but the boy in Iran that expelled the millipedes from his body with the chemical, thus cancer-causing, prescription drug later died of cancer, so I'm reluctant to try that. I offer a €150 reward for anybody with a cure for centipedes in the human body. If you have a cure or know of one, please contact me. Skype, Prologic 999. I have made a YouTube video about the 5 centipede species that procreate in the human intestine, and the common house centipede is one of them. People are naturally repulsed by centipedes because of evolution, and centipedes are deadly. Because it is termed pseudoparasitism of Myriapoda in humans, most people do not know centipedes procreate in the human intestine, possibly even the human brain, and centipedes are deadly. Most people believe that centipedes are harmless. My father also contracted these centipedes after sleeping one night in the house in Sheenhaven, which had a floor with cracks that insects crawling under the house could get in. So place fine mesh in front of ventilation shafts of the house you stay in, do a bug check, and never sleep in a house where you saw a centipede. There is also a gas pocket behind my left eye where I saw the centipede. Lately I have been having pain in my right brain half, and I was wondering if they could get into the human brain via the sinuses? ? Searching info via Google, I ran into this website. Hope someone has the answer. Probably an MRI is best to diagnose brain parasitosis properly, not a CT nor PET scan. More info on my YouTube channel, https://www.youtube.com/user/Ulrich Kaufman by my name and universecretor.weebly.com. Share edit delete flag. Answered 14 hours ago. Ulrich Kaufman 11. 3. The internet is not the right venue to ask for help with medical problems. I urge you to seek immediate medical help from a licensed medical practitioner in your area. Anonymous 2 hours ago. This does not provide an answer to the question. Once you have sufficient reputation, you will be able to comment on any post. Instead, provide answers that don't require clarification from the asker. From review. Frostfire 1 hour ago. Doctors are in on depopulating the Earth. Doctors have misdiagnosed me and other people with centipedes in their body that have contacted me. My answer to the question is also meant as a warning to the world, since YouTube is blocking my channel selectively and unsubscribing subscribers from my channel. The depopulators are trying to cut everyone off from any real help to depopulate everyone. Just see it as an expanded answer and make sure their hymems cannot get into your brain. Ulrich Kaufman 29 minutes ago.
So I'm adding another comment, and that is, so doctors have removed a worm from a woman's skull, but they don't know how it got there, question mark. Nasal cavity, probably these centipedes cannot bite themselves through the eye socket. En my trommelvliezen, dat is het ook in het Engels. Ears are intact. Membrana tympani. Okay. So here I see my new writing.
So doctors have removed a worm from a woman's skull, but they don't know how it got there. Nasal cavity. Probably these centipedes cannot bite themselves through the eye socket, and my ears, membrana tympani, are intact.
But I think it's a very good question, and I wonder if, as part of their depopulation, they're hiding information from people, also from other doctors. So let's read the other answers. So it was Tienhoven, that sounded a bit unclear. Tienhoven, the Netherlands, is where I contracted these centipedes, and my father contracted them as well after one day of sleeping in that house. and the symptoms are described on my channel. Also, I've made a video of the 5 species of centipedes that have entered humans and procreated in their intestine. The common house centipede is included in that. So I'm not hoaxing anybody. I'm doing these broadcasts for free. I'm not getting any money, no monetization. Yet YouTube is blocking my videos. Even though I'm not an anti-Semite, I'm not for exterminating all Jews or Muslims or any other group of people. And I'm anti-global depopulation and anti-global government. We are the anti-global government movement, and I hope other people will join me. And I cannot convince the doctors that there are centipedes in my body. And that is a good question. I've seen that video about a woman that had a worm in her head, and how did it get there, basically, is the question. I've been looking at the sinuses, basically, and the question is if the sinuses have a connection to the brain. So basically, the centipede was here behind my left eye, and then the question is if they go via the nasal cavities. I think that the nerves of the eye have to be connected to the brain somehow, so perhaps there's a passage there that they can worm themselves through, or via the nasal cavity, if the sinuses are not a connection to the brain that is easy to bite through or to access the human mind. So it's a good question. When the doctors don't even know how these insects get into our brain, then it's a good question. I think on worldbuilding.stackexchange.com. So let's read the other comments. Asked 1 year, 1 month ago, viewed 762 times, active today.
How could a brain parasite enter the skull with minimal effort? Upvote 5, downvote favorite 1. So I have a brain parasite that needs to enter the skull of a host organism, in this case humans, with the least amount of effort, but is too large to enter through the circulatory system and must physically crawl inside a host. Drilling through the skull is the most difficult option and will likely cause fatal infections. This is fine for brain parasitoids that eat the host from the inside out, but not for parasites that need the host alive for longer periods. Going through the ear canal still requires destroying the middle and inner ear, which would cause deafness and loss of balance, in addition to still drilling through the skull and causing fatal infections. At this point, the most efficient and least destructive options seem to be to
So I've had loss of balance. I've had that a couple of times up to the point of fainting, basically, but that can also be done with directed energy weapons. When you also hear voices in your head and people tyrannizing you, then you can be pretty certain it's that causing it, basically. So the centipedes are mainly behind the eye sockets, in the throat, and near the anus, and they may be HAARPs, hybrid insect microelectric mechanical systems of DARPA, to depopulate Earth. So they pretend that they're only for surveillance purposes and that all these tools are non-invasive, but they can use them in a way that they become invasive and to depopulate Earth. Which is the main thing they're about, of course. Done by the Jesuits and Freemasons that want a Luciferian global government to be imposed upon the people of planet Earth after depopulating to 500 million. That's clear from the book quotes and illegal Georgia Guidestones.
enter through the nostril, nasal cavity or eye socket where the brain casing is thinnest or absent and drenched in insulating mucus. What option makes the most sense? Science-based diseases brain share eat it. Asked July 23, 16 at 1917 Anonymous 3,4882934. How big is the brain parasite? Is it swidgy like a slug, or octopus, or hard and crunchy like a beetle? UN July 23, 16 at 1951. Seems like the nose is the obvious solution, not sure what you thought other people might suggest.
Well, my suggestion is that there are also other parasites, smaller parasites that can carry the eggs, and they can hatch into people's skulls, which may be a safe place for these parasites to procreate in. In the rest of the human body, they cannot put their eggs, they're basically washed away by the feces, etc.
Andre Rom July 23, 16 at 1952-2. This reminds me of the Animorphs series. Taylor Swift July 24, 16 at 4:22. This is parasitology, but not as we know it. A paraparasite, in the words of Brian Aldiss, that behaves quite unlike real-world parasites which are usually ingested as eggs or in a larval form. If eggs, they hatch and the parasite either travels via the circulatory or bores its way through the host's flesh and organs until it reaches its target organ, in this case, the brain. A4 Android July 24, 16 at 6:13.
Another suggestion that I have that is less likely or impossible, probably, but some people think they can teleport small objects, also insects, mosquitoes, and remotely control them with VIPA through the wall radar and scalar waves.
What if the parasite is a virus of the mind, a meme? It enters the skull by being learned, and does not have physical form. Jlugas July 25, 16 at 10:27 show 3 more comments 10 answers active oldest votes up vote 13 down vote accepted. You have your standard entry points, mouth, nose, eyes and yes-airs. But I have an alternative natural entry point for you. How big is your parasite? Can you not have it start small and grow, transform, mutate into something bigger when it gets to the brain? Regardless of the size, you do have another hole in your skull, completely natural, no drilling required. Ever heard of the foramen magnum? It's the hole in the base of the skull through which your spinal column passes. If your parasite is small enough, it might be able to squeeze through past all the spinal cords and nerves, juicy niceness, and enter the brain, free as a bird. You can then have your parasite enter your body in any manner you can think of. It can then physically crawl under your skin, through the muscle, sounds freaky and painful, until it reaches the spine. Follow the spine upwards until it hits the brainstem. This will a congested area, as all the necessary muscles, nerves, veins, cartilage etc. tries to fit into a small tunnel area. It will be a squeeze and probably cause all sorts of temporary pain, fits, spasms, paralysis, but it could crawl through without having to drill. Share it. Answered July 23, 16 at 23:07. Every bit helps 3,8011155. Like the host, but with more side effects. Xander the Zine on August 9, 16 at 22:25. Wouldn't know. Haven't got around to reading it, and I'm pretty sure the movie didn't do the book justice. Every bit helps August 10, 16 at 5:59:1. Well, I'm a human male and therefore I disliked the book. I was told afterward it is like a chick flick in book form. Xander the Zine on August 10, 16 at 6:01. Depending on the 2 different morphs of the parasite, it might not be a squeeze at all. Joe blogs 11 hours ago. Add a comment up vote 9 down vote. Your notion of drilling through the skull as being negative is false. Brain surgery has been around since the Stone Age. There were even high success rates circa 7000 BC. There is no reason for a parasite not to be able to drill through the skull into the brain. It could even secrete antibacterial, viral mucus.
So the question is, to the scientists, can it enter via the superior sagittal sinus, for example, via the nose, or via an eye cavity? They must have gotten in there somehow, so there has to be a way.
To prevent infections, to prevent injury to the host, Sherried it. Answered July 23, 16 at 2015 Keltari 1,984216. Add a comment, upvote 5 downvote. How about this? The parent of the parasite enters the body through an orifice, then injects its larvae into the blood and dies. The larva passes through the blood, matures in the brain, and it looks as though it is the same creature as the parent, even though it is actually the child. When the host dies, the parasite crawls out and seeks out a new host. This is small potatoes compared to the complexity of some parasites' life cycle. As for which orifice, it doesn't matter too much.
I think that's another good answer. These lithobias are only 1.7 centimeters long, and if they have young ones that hatch, then they're really tiny, like fingertip of your pinky, basically. It's tiny eggs, probably. But I think that because I've seen one behind my left eyelid, that if they are in my skull, it is also possible directed energy weapon torturers are doing this, basically. It's possible that they are not in my skull, but at the moment it's hurting my right brain half regularly, and it's possible they've put their eggs in my head, so I will soon have to go to the hospital. It's possible I'll die there. And this is my testament for you all that centipedes are parasites. They've also entered my father's body, and there are also loads of pets, dogs and cats, that have these centipedes in their feces. You can see the markings in their poop, and a cure has to be developed. The whole genome, the DNA of the centipede is online, it's known, so it should be quite easy to make something that's harmful for centipedes and harmless for humans. And many people have contacted me that have these centipedes in their body as well. They've caught them also, so it's not some delusional parasitosis or hallucination, which some people might suggest for some reason. Is that because they're brain controlled, or they're in on torturing people to death with these centipedes? Is it a tool of the Jesuits that have tortured 50 million people, innocent people, to death in their Inquisition? With these torture devices that I've covered in my previous broadcasts. And the question is also, are they remotely controllable with synthetic telepathy? And is high MEMS, hybrid insect microelectromechanical systems, only created to hide synthetic telepathy, like the mainstream media publishing about spying on your cancer cell phones and emails, and not about synthetic telepathy, which they've had since 1974, just to cover that up, basically, that they are not just monitoring what we think, but also controlling what we think with synthetic telepathy, sending ideas in our own inner voice. Project Immortality with a neural network, brain mapping people, and also uploading the whole brain of a person to a clone, so that they can create clones that do exactly what they want. Is President Trump, for example, a clone? And how to prove it if the real President Trump is gone? I just want these centipedes out of my body and my father's body, so there's €150 reward for anybody with an idea that works to expel these critters from our bodies.
Going into the mouth and passing through the digestive system offers the benefit of allowing the parent to dissolve without anyone noticing. Perhaps the parent is not resistant to digestive juices, but is filled with eggs that are. Once the parent is digested, the eggs are released and burrow into the bloodstream through the large intestine. Maybe while the organism is in the brain, it is actually a colony meshed together. This works better if the organism's shape is fairly simple in appearance, like a blob or a slug as opposed to an insect, and then when it leaves the brain, it trips open the bag and all of the smaller organisms crawl away. Alternatively, it can have multiple casts and a generational cycle. Outside a host body it reproduces sexually, allowing it to produce as multiple eggs that hatch into the orifice-invading cast. This cast then produces the brain-invading cast inside the host's body through parthenogenesis, and uses its control over the host to seek out other infected hosts before dying and allowing the parasite to escape and breed. Share it. Edited July 28, 16 at 6 o'clock. Answered July 28, 16 at 5:48 Indigo Phoenix 11.2K11849. Add a comment upvote 5 downvote. You could leave the majority of your parasite's mass in the flesh of the neck or abdomen and have it send tendrils up into the brain through any of the openings described in the other answers. Share it. Answered July 24, 16 at 1:07 Henry Taylor 31.8K749110. Add a comment upvote 2 downvote. Regardless of where the entry point ends up being, you could give the parasite traits of leeches and maggots, and have them secrete numbing agents as well as cleaning the wounds to prevent infection. They could also even secrete antibiotics and antivirals to keep their host in good health. For entry to the skull, my suggestion is a variation on the nasal passages. Initial invasion is through the circulatory system. When passing through the lungs, it moves into the airways. The subject coughs the parasite up into its throat and climbs into the nasal passageways. Share it. Answered July 23, 16 at 20:57 Michael Richardson 5,9681226. Add a comment upvote 2 downvote. Based on my coincidental, light knowledge of transorbital lobotomies, I would suggest the eye sockets, in line with Mantis Toboggan's suggestion. In a lobotomy, a long metal spike would be slipped in around a patient's eyeball, then used to punch through the back of the eye socket, where it would carve an arc through the patient's brain matter. This procedure would then be repeated with the patient's other eye socket. Note that this procedure was designed to be performed by staff at mental institutions, who would not have direct access to dedicated operating rooms or trained surgeons. But anyway, my point is that we can infer 2 things from this. 1, that the bone at the back of the eye sockets is very thin and easy to break through, and 2, people can survive and have survived having it punctured, without any form of remedial surgery or really any sort of medical treatment at all, and all without serious damage to the eyes themselves. Consider looking into other forms of brain surgery for ideas.
So tips are welcome how I could get the doctors of the AMC or another hospital to do an MRI scan. Because they've already done a CT scan and PET scan, they cannot see these tiny centipedes on it. They did see something in my throat. They checked with the camera, but at that time the centipede was not in my throat anymore. So they've also done a bronchoscopy and colonoscopy. So I would like advice as to how I could get the treatment from the doctors. If there's any doctor with a cure for centipedes in the human body which is scientifically documented as pseudoparasitism of Myriapoda in humans, so it's known these species of centipede have procreated in the human intestine, and it's documented, scientifically documented. So people that think centipedes are harmless and only good to clean up nature are wrong. They are deadly to humans. That's why we are repelled by centipedes. It's formed by evolution. So these people don't know what they're talking about. In reality, they're not. They may pretend to be scientists. They may have a degree, but they're wrong about this anyway. which I'm certain about because my father only slept one night in the house in Tienhoven and contracted these centipedes. So I'm pretty sure that they are parasites. They will enter your body if they get the chance to use your body as a host to procreate. It's warm, it's safe, and it supplies food, everything they need. So they rather live inside your warm body than in cold nature, basically, is the theory.
Sharedet. Answered July 24, 16 at 0:32 Onyx 211. Add a comment upvote 1 downvote. Not knowing the physical characteristics of the parasite or how you intend for it to operate, I'd agree that the eye sockets and nasal cavity are the most viable options. I particularly like the use of the eyes. It has that added spunk that comes with the potential of being, interestingly grotesque.
So basically I would like an MRI done. My plan is to basically, when I have that gas pocket behind my left eye, you heard it a little bit, or at least I heard it. When that occurs again, then to rush to the first aid of the hospital and to say, well, I've seen something behind my eye. Is there some kind of big thing in my eye, basically? Perhaps a big dust particle, I'm feeling pain, etc. I don't really feel a lot of pain, only when I turn my eyes around, and sometimes that hurts. So then they might be behind my eye socket or whatever. Perhaps they're in the sinuses, perhaps they're not in my brain. If they would have been in my brain, perhaps it would have caused other problems. I hope they're not in my brain. And the clicking sounds when I turn my brain around may be of cartilage of their centipede venom, but I would like an MRI scan, and the question is, if they do that, if I would say I think I have something in my eye, behind my eye, and I saw something brown slip under my left eyelid, which is true in the bathroom, and they might not believe it and label me a delusional parasitosis patient again. And so I'm still thinking about how to get treatment from the hospital. If you all have any ideas, you can always Skype me, Prologic999, about how to get an MRI scan, and the doctors will help to remove these centipedes surgically. I've explained why it's 100% certain and proven beyond any reasonable doubt that there are centipedes in our body. And I can prove it in court also with that yellow sticky venom in my feces, which, if you compare that to Lithobius forficatus venom, if you get it analyzed, then you will see that it's the same thing, because I felt them also with my finger in my anus. I've caught several of them, and they of course cause other symptoms. Insect bites on the outside of the body of the patients, rattling noises in the throat. They're regularly attacking my throat, and whoever has tortured my teeth out of my mouth and my mother to death, etc., with directed energy weapons which were deflected onto other body parts, and I was able to feel with my hand, so I'm certain about that they are directed energy weapon torture attacks. That person also controlled the centipedes they've shown me. They control them. So that's known as synthetic telepathy with scalar waves, not with microwaves, which is a common misconception that millions of targeted individuals have.
That could be fun to work with, if that's what you're going for. Maybe do some research into how we've used the eye sockets for convenient access to surgery on the brain, lobotomies, etc., to get some inspiration for how it could enter naturally. Otherwise, the nasal cavity seems like your best, realistic bet. Or, it could enter the circulatory system before fully developed. Taking inspiration from my limited knowledge of the pork tapeworm from a subpar biology course, Perhaps the parasite itself does not directly enter the brain but leaves the task up to its offspring. Tapeworm larvae develop from eggs in the intestines and quickly enter the bloodstream, potentially resulting in cysticercosis. I don't believe we currently know how it passes through the blood-brain barrier. Sherit. Answered July 23, 16 at 2033 Minoxamshin 912. Add a comment upvote 1 downvote. The best examples are from nature. Hookworm is transmitted by the larvae burrowing into the feet, or other exposed skin, and entering the bloodstream. They get into the lungs, get swallowed and get into the intestine. Brain worms are transmitted by infected gastropods getting ingested along with leaves. The larvae then migrate into the central nervous system. Pork tapeworm eggs are ingested and can migrate directly to the brain. Edit. As pointed out in the comments, the op said the parasite was too large to use the circulatory system. While I would assume that the larval form would be much smaller than the final parasite form, it would seem that the nose, into the frontal sinus into the brain would be the easiest path, followed by entry at the back of the neck. The parasite would then enter through the foramen magnum. However, anything too large for the circulatory system is going to be large enough to be noticeable as it burrows in regardless of where. Sherit. Edited June 30 at 21:05. Answered June 30 at 1937 Andrew Neely 3,371416. The question states that the parasite will be too large to use circulatory system and must crawl inside the host, so I'm afraid the examples are out of question. Violix June 30 at 2011. Would the parasite be too large in all stages of life? Andrew Neely June 30 at 2045. Judging from the other answers, I think it does not necessarily big in all phase. However, as you pointed out in the edit, if it is too big for circulatory system, then it will never fit in any other possible entrances, at least unnoticeably. It will be interesting if a beetle-sized parasite paralyze the victim temporarily and forcefully enter through mouth, nose, or ear. Violix June 30 at 21:21.
That makes me think of other people that have contacted me with centipedes in their body. And some of them think that they are also in their bloodstream, which I think is not the case, that the centipedes cannot bite themselves through the flesh, the skin, into the bloodstream. And they want to reside usually in the throat, near the anus, behind the eye sockets. When procreating, they make sort of spider-like webs. And there are many other symptoms, but the main symptom is markings in the poop in the shape of the centipede with the length and the shape of the centipede, so there is no doubt possible. And I think these doctors are in on murdering me for 2 reasons. One is, of course, that I caught several centipedes, yet they labeled me a delusional parasitosis patient, though I showed them the centipede that I caught in the UMC hospital. And the other one is that they refused to analyze that yellow sticky venom in my feces, which is weird. If they'd compared it to Lithobius forficatus venom, then they'd see it's the same thing. And they didn't do an MRI scan, and that woman that had worm removed from her brain had that MRI scan, so perhaps the MRI scan would be the only thing that can be used to make them visible. So that's what they're trying to avoid, because they're in on depopulating Earth, you see. Alex Jones calls it Nazi eugenics, but it may be Jew eugenics. Of course, you have the Jewish doctor Harold F. Shipman that killed over 200 of his patients. Recently another serial killing doctor was caught. So I have advocated screening the doctors basically, and if there are doctors with insane amounts of dead patients, to do a further investigation into these doctors. And these people are bloody serious about depopulating the earth. It's clear from the book quotes. And illegal $1 million costing Georgia Guidestones with human blood on top. So I don't understand why these people are not arrested. And other people that do petty crimes, little misdemeanors are, and get ridiculous sentences because they control the legal system and judges with their directed energy torture weapons. In reality, it's done by Jesuits and Masons that have infiltrated your government and that have been expelled from many countries before.
Add a comment: upvote 0 downvote. A very small brain parasite that exists today is a prion. If you want to be truly insidious, attack your targets with one of those. Share it. Answered July 1st at 0:15 TJ 9834. Add a comment: upvote 0 downvote. Most parasites that enter the brain do so via
It's interesting. Did you see that message? I reloaded the page, but it said this post has been deleted. And they've also done that on another blog where I've arachnids or something, where I've posted my story asking for help to remove these centipedes from our body. And they couldn't believe in delusion in pseudoparasitism of myriapoda in humans. They can believe in delusional parasitosis somehow. Even when the patient catches these centipedes, etc. So that's interesting. It's some kind of arachnid forum. Let's see. Forum. So basically I expected it to be removed, my comment. Because it reveals stuff they really don't want you to know. Because they want to depopulate the earth and they want you all to think you're safe so that these critters can get inside you and procreate. They don't want you to put mesh in front of the house's ventilation shafts, do a bug check, and to never sleep in a house where you saw a centipede, or to know that even the common house centipede procreates in the human intestine. It's probably the biggest forum, plus it was not arachnids, but myriapoda. Arachnoboards, oh yeah, right. I've posted it to arachnoboards and they have removed my comment. So if the doctors have no cure, then we depend on other people that do have a cure. Peen is penis in Hebrew, and Nartika is vagina.
The bloodstream. Probably. Most parasites are invisible to the naked eye. Is it possible a centipede, Lithobius forficatus, has entered my brain via the sinuses or via the eye socket where the brain casing is thinnest or absent and drenched in insulating mucus? One time when standing in the bathroom in front of a mirror to check my eye because I thought a big dust particle had flown into it, I saw a brown small centipede. Because I have caught several of them and there are markings in my feces with the exact length and shape of these tiny centipedes, yellow sticky poison and insect bites which I have also photographed on my father's body, but especially because they bite in my anus and make rattling noises in my throat which I have recorded. See my YouTube channel. It is absolutely clear to me there are centipedes in my body. Other people have contacted me that have caught these centipedes and found them in their stool. The doctors have no cure, only for millipedes, niclosamide, but the boy in Iran that expelled the millipedes from his body with the chemical, thus cancer-causing, prescription drug later died of cancer, so I'm reluctant to try that. I offer a €150 reward for anybody with a cure for centipedes in the human body. If you have a cure or know of one, please contact me. Skype, prologic 999. I have made a YouTube video about the 5 centipede species that procreate in the human intestine, and the common house centipede is one of them. People are naturally repulsed by centipedes because of evolution, and centipedes are deadly. Because it is termed pseudoparasitism of Myriapoda in humans, most people do not know centipedes procreate in the human intestine, possibly even the human brain, and centipedes are deadly. Most people believe that centipedes are harmless. My father also contracted these centipedes after sleeping one night in the house in Sheenhaven, which had a floor with cracks that insects crawling under the house could get in. So place fine mesh in front of ventilation shafts of the house you stay in, do a bug check, and never sleep in a house where you saw a centipede. There is also a gas pocket behind my left eye where I saw the centipede. Lately I have been having pain in my right brain half, and I was wondering if they could get into the human brain via the sinuses? Searching info via Google, I ran into this website. Hope someone has the answer. Probably an MRI is best to diagnose brain parasitosis properly, not a CT nor PET scan. More info on my YouTube channel, https://www.youtube.com/user/Ulrich Kaufman by my name and universecretor.weebly.com. Share edit delete flag. Answered 14 hours ago. Ulrich Kaufman 11. 3. The internet is not the right venue to ask for help with medical problems. I urge you to seek immediate medical help from a licensed medical practitioner in your area. Anonymous 2 hours ago. This does not provide an answer to the question. Once you have sufficient reputation, you will be able to comment on any post. Instead, provide answers that don't require clarification from the asker. From review, Frostfire.
So I've already explained that the doctors don't want to help me, and they seem to be in on depopulating the earth. Hospitals are in the top 10 of main causes of death twice. Prescription drugs and misdiagnosis are leading killers, so they're in the top 10 of main causes of death twice. And sometimes my VU meter is hanging, so then I repeat myself.
1 hour ago. Doctors are in on depopulating the earth. Doctors have misdiagnosed me and other people with centipedes in their body that have contacted me. My answer to the question is also meant as a warning to the world, since YouTube is blocking my channel selectively and unsubscribing subscribers from my channel. The depopulators are trying to cut everyone off from any real help to depopulate everyone. Just see it as an expanded answer and make sure their high memes cannot get into your brain. Ulrich Kaufman 41 minutes ago. So doctors have removed a worm from a woman's skull, but they don't know how it got there. Nasal cavity. Probably these centipedes cannot bite themselves through the eye socket, and my ears, membrana tympani, are intact. Ulrich Kaufman 3 minutes ago. Edit. Add a comment.
So I'm checking if there are any new messages, also covering old messages of people that have responded and made clear they have centipedes in their body as well. But some of these may be CIA created by a robot, also by a neural network. And they can also post in forums, of course.
Good morning, greeting again, hoping you well. My name is Lungjai Zalonghua, who is desperate, need your help. I read your story from Google website about the centipede that was inside your body. My small brother was entered with this centipede from the anus to inside his body. We talking right now is living with this thing. He went to clinics but they can't help him and he still feel the movements of the centipede inside the body. My problem is I want to get other alternative ways of killing the centipede inside the body or a drug that I need to use in order to kill it. What is on your mind? Which information you can give to me? I trust that I will find something from you that will help my brother since you know what I'm talking about. Thank you.
One person wrote that iodine can be used, but I doubt that because iodine is part of the venom of the millipedes. Some types of millipedes have iodine in their venom. And mold, it supposedly makes them molt prematurely, but I doubt if that would kill them. So I've tried Lugal's solution, and I might try some more. And it's clear it would also have to be in my bloodstream if I would want to reach the centipedes in my brain or behind my eye. They may have to be removed surgically, basically, in the hospital. It's definitely real. It's not satire. I'm not hoaxing or scamming anybody. I'm not getting any money. This is not paid YouTube videos you see of others with more views. They use monetization. And YouTube are basically demonetizing videos, and they've made subscribed people, they've unsubscribed people from my channel. So I'm not doing that. YouTube is doing that also to other people like Eric Dubé, who has reported about it as well. That's how I found out. And also people have reported that they were unsubscribed from my channel via the comments. So I have reported these 6 Jewish people that want to depopulate the earth with obscene amounts of power, and other non-Jews such as Ted Turner of CNN that want to do the same thing. And if they have a directed energy weapon pointed to their head, basically it's like having a gun pressed to your head, and you have to say what they want, and otherwise they shoot you, basically. With directed energy weapons they can cause brain bleedings and heart attacks, and they've selectively, these attacks are very accurate. They've tortured my teeth out of my mouth, etc. So I've reported about this on this channel. I've tried for Vita Cleanse already. That didn't work, so there is no new email, at least not on this email address, flipflipu@yahoo.com. And the BC Hoffman, the website at gmail.com is a later email address. I can check that as well. But I was I'm trying to show you some examples of other people that have reported about this stuff. This is one example of a person that wrote me, and she also sent a picture of one of the centipedes she has caught. Perhaps I'll see that later. Goody goody. It's probably a Lithobius forficatus that she sent, but there are many other species that would do the same thing if they get the chance. So to do a bug check, check your house behind the radiator, behind the mirrors, closets, underneath the bed. For insects there are many types. Even a fly can put its botfly eggs in your head, etc. It's really gross. There are YouTube videos of these insects that have entered the human brain, etc.
Hi there, my name is Gracie and I am also convinced that I have centipedes in my body. Well, I have been going to the doctor. For a rash I get for 20 years now, and it's been like 7 years that I feel pinpricks and movement in my ears and all over my body. My son picked up scabies after a stay at his dad's house. Well, I took my son to the doctor, the prescribed permethrin cream 5%, and I got scabies after cleaning his room. After using the cream I felt different. I started to sense a lot more movements and the biting kinda stopped. It's gotten to the point where I can function. It feels like something huge is in my body. It feels that it's from my mid back to the top of my brain, that it's just squeezing me. I have lots of headache and I don't know how to make it release off my brain. Well, I ended putting on a second dose of the cream and it's got worse to where I cannot focus. I went to see Benny Hinn and afterwards a 2 centipede came out of vagina. I've been praying that God would show me for a way to eliminate what is in me, a vision of mosquito spray with DEET and a parasite cleanser, and also trying diatomaceous earth with and a parasite killer smoothie with papaya seeds and cloves. I have been having some kind of reaction when I put on the spray on. It starts to make noises and it's getting weaker to the point of where it sounds like it's dying. Now I feel like it's sliding down into my belly and my belly gets hard and I feel like I am having labor pains. I have been to the ER twice this week so they can help me with the prof. That centipede came out of me. The doctor wants me to start seeing a mental health doctor. I'm worried if I go they are going to try to admit me into the psycho ward. My headache is weakened but it still has a hold of my brain. I'm thinking the cream the doctor prescribed of putting it on because that's how it started. I hope this helps and I would like to hear if it has.
So it's a good idea never to tell the doctors that you think there are centipedes in your body, even if you've caught them, etc., because they may label you a delusional parasitosis patient and lock you up for evaluation. And if you try to escape or anything, then you might be in there for the rest of your life.
Helped you. Have a blessed day.
Well, perhaps I'd rather have an unblessed day. So I've tried one bottle of Vervita Cleanse that didn't do anything. And the problem is, if they're in my throat, then it cannot do anything. It goes via the throat into our belly, basically. And it is digested before it reaches the anus, which is another location these critters like to occupy. And I'm almost dead, so I'm feeling more and more lethargic. There's also CNS damage, so I'm shaking in my chair basically. And the doctors are now convinced after these 4 tests that there are no centipedes in my body. And I had to tell them that I'm convinced there are no centipedes in my body to get out of the hospital basically. Though there is no doubt possible about the fact that there are centipedes in my body. It's part of torturing people to death and depopulating the earth. And there are many doctors and scientists in on this. More about it in my previous broadcasts. So trust no one, nothing is what it seems. Test everything you learn, recovery begins with non-compliance. First, achieve negligible senescence, control the factors that control aging, is my tip for you all.
Please help me. Centipede is in my body. Please give me the correct path for removing this. Thank you. New comment on centipedes in my body. Please help to remove them complete. Sean Murphy. So the centipedes are still in your body?
Yes, I've tried diatomaceous earth food grade for a while, and it causes problems with peeing. Basically, it's like building a brick wall in your stomach or whatever. Though that problem may also be caused by the centipede, so perhaps I should continue diatomaceous earth food grade. But that won't do anything against the centipedes in my throat and near my anus, I think, so I'm thinking about trying other methods again. I've listed them in my previous broadcasts if you have centipedes in your body. The doctors have no cure, to my knowledge. They have niclosamide for millipedes, that's listed on the leaflet also. Nothing for centipedes. I've tried ivermectin, horse dewormer, because you cannot get it without a doctor's prescription. That was not effective. I've tried mebendazole for tapeworm, etc., which about 1/4, 25% of the meat eaters have tapeworm, according to Dr. Rio. That may be easy to get rid of, though I've seen videos of doctors removing these tapeworms from people's body, looking like a big bowl of spaghetti, basically, an incredible amount of these large worms, etc. It's really gross, horrible, and we're horrified by it for a good reason. It's formed by evolution, so we survive. So fear is a good thing, fear mongering as well, to get people to buy a radiological water filter and storable food, just in case they have plans over Iran to depopulate Earth and create a global government. This is a reply in Dutch. I might write the person if that person has found a way to remove them. So this person thinks he has them crawling under his skin. So that could be a delusional parasitosis patient. However, I do not want to claim that I'm certain of that, and I think it is possible that I know that I have them in my body and the doctors don't take it seriously, etc. And they don't know, most of them don't know about pseudoparasitism of Myriapoda in humans. They don't know that centipedes enter humans and procreate in their intestine. That's scientifically documented. Most people believe the lie that they write online that centipedes are harmless, etc., which they're not. Now, I think that he has not found a solution yet, probably. If anybody finds a way to get them out, please contact me. Some people have reported iboga. I've tried that as well, which can be dangerous if the dosage is too high. And some people have reported colloidal silver. You have to take that for sure, loads of colloidal silver. I advise a maximum dosage if there are centipedes in your body. One person reported about expelling them with colloidal silver on YouTube. And you need that against tetanus, because the venom is not that harmful, but tetanus is, and you don't want to die of that. It's really horrible with the cramps and everything, which I got in my jaw. Lockjaw is one symptom of tetanus, and in the legs, basically, mainly. but also sometimes near my heart. I've had sort of pain in my heart. Really, I don't know if that's a heart infarct or a heart attack. So I'll have to go to a hospital soon. And I'm not pressing charges, because the doctors may also be targeted with these directed energy weapons, you see. So I'm not blaming the doctors. The doctors of the AMC have helped me to remove my appendix, but that was years back when perhaps they were not involved in depopulating the earth as much as they are today. These factories, especially big hospitals, that make money of making more sick patients and keeping people sick rather than curing them. They cannot make money of a cured patient.
Just read what you had to say about the centipedes in your body at http://universecreator.weebly.com/centipedes in my body, centipede poison wanted.html. I coughed up a live one early this year. Now I see that my whole body is full of them, eating my muscles. I have taken walnut hull tincture and wormwood for months. Little by little, I am scrawling their bodies out of my skin. Like you, I was afraid to take any medical concoctions. Have you cleared them from your body? Very exciting to find someone else who is dealing with this horror. Garen, riding on an ox searching for an ox.
I think that's some other type of parasite which may be treatable with walnut hull tincture and wormwood. I've tried at least wormwood. I think I must have also tried walnut hull tincture. Oh yeah, I still have the bottle. I can show you. That's pretty good. I like the taste of it. It doesn't do fucking thing with the centipedes, of course, but let's see. Parasites cleanse tincture. Black walnut green hulls 1200 milligrams. That's this nifty bottle here. And here we see the ingredients listed. It's not very clear on this camera, but it says black walnut green hulls 1200 milligram, cloves 400 milligram, wormwood 200 milligram, non-GMO vitamin C 40, non-GMO sunflower lecithin 40, vegetable glycerin 600, and purified water 300 milligrams. Parasites cleanse tincture. And what's the date on this? Is there a date? There's still a bottom in it, I thought, emergencies. Well, it's pretty old, so I'm not going to use that now. I can try some more wormwood. That's also known as absinthe, without alcohol. Alcohol is another great depopulation tool that causes cancer. Though drinking a small amount of alcohol from time to time may be better than not drinking at all, the BBC article also makes it clear. but avoiding any strong, pure, strong, high-spirited drinks or how do you call these? You have beer and wine, soft alcohol, and then you have whiskey and vodka, the hard alcoholic beverage. Basically, if you drink those pure, then basically you can die from that, from one bottle, and it causes cancer, etc. So it's best to mix that if you have to take it, and to avoid alcohol as much as possible. Some people simply don't take any alcohol, and that may be best in reality. The BBC may be in on depopulating the earth, fake news, etc. They used to have a swastika on the website, which I've covered in my previous broadcasts. Anyway,
The centipede was something I have never seen before. It was almost like a thread worm cooler from human feces. P.S. Dan.
so you can all watch my video Centipedes in My Body, Please Help on YouTube. That lists more information. I used to think at that time that it was spreading Streptococcus agalactiae. That's associated with other centipedes also. But their venom is quite harmless, and these critters are very small. You can see some legs missing. Probably I was sticking daisies up my ass and wiggling my finger around, and probably I've squashed it and broken its legs off. And 2 legs missing is no problem for a centipede, but when is missing more than 3, then it might become a problem. So this is only 1/3 of a ping's length. It's a tiny fucking centipede. These are tiny critters. They're not like the tropical species. These live in Germany, US and UK, and in the Netherlands basically. I think there's a map online. And Gracie Pompa also sent a picture of one of them that she caught, or that was in her stool. Usually they end up in people's stools. And it doesn't mean that there are not more of them inside your body, because they live 6 years, and it's likely even that there are more centipedes in your body because they always travel in pairs. So I think if they had these centipedes in their body, they still have them, all these people that wrote me, and they need treatment, and so do I.
The centipede was wide. I have never seen one like it before. Please get back to me on June 22, 2015, 6:59. Daniel Medhurst less than 240691dan@gmail.com wrote. I found a centipede the same as the one in her picture, but it was white, almost transparent. It was when I was in the shower last year. One swear it came out of my urethra after I went to the toilet. I jumped into the shower and it was after I masturbated. I thought I was going mad. I spent 4 hours looking it up but nothing. It has been a year now and I found your website. I have all the symptoms. I have sticky stuff in my facies and track marks, pain in my back and shoulder, loads, breathing pain, and doctors say nothing wrong with me. I also have noses in my stomach and haven't heard a noise in Mijdrecht for about 8 months. Also my whole body cuz and feel biting in my anus and my stomach. I suffer from severe heartburn and be sick a lot. Also for the first time I've been waking up with like needle stabs in my penis and on my bum which heal up like spots, and I just get antibiotics which do nothing. Please message me back. Here's censor from Dan.
I remember I was treated in the hospital. When they enter your lung, that resembles the symptoms of pulmonary disease, of what they treated me for, but I'm not recalling the name at the moment. Perhaps I can ask my father. Hold on. Hi, waar was ik in het aansteken? It's misdiagnosed as lung embolism. Also coughing up blood. I can go through a long list of symptoms basically. The most important one is markings in feces of people in the shape of the centipede. A yellow sticky poison from time to time. Venom that's very sticky. If you put the paper on it and you do this, then you have these long threads basically. Insect bites on the outside of the body, which look like incision-like markings, with interruptions. So they scavenge, they walk across the body while biting and dropping their venom in it. They see us as their prey in reality. That's clear to me. Other symptoms include rattling noises in the throat, trouble breathing also. Some people have reported that centipedes kill the prey by attacking their respiratory system. So eventually they may clog up in there basically. And I've recorded these rattling noises they make, which you can see in the video DARPA high mems or whatever. I can show that again also in this video. To first make clear to the world that centipedes are deadly. And that there are people using them to depopulate Earth. So here you see that picture which shows the size of these Lithobius forficatus. How tiny they are. This one is missing the last set of legs that you can see on my blog. With the skin I have problems seeing which tab is open sometimes. So these last legs are also very long, and the markings in the feces are exactly the same length and with the V shape at the outer end of their antenna and their legs. And they use these legs, they slap them together to make a rattling noise, which is probably to procreate, to indicate that they want to procreate. And then they put their spermatophores in webs that they make on the wall, near the ceiling, etc. And these are collected by the female or whatever. Oh yeah, so I let you hear the rattling noises. They're they're remotely controlled. In reality, hard to believe. If your brain controlled, you cannot believe it, of course, and then you would ridicule the truth. And you would help to depopulate yourself in ways that you wouldn't believe it either. But for now, let's hear this recording I made with a professional Tascam recorder of the rattling noises in my throat. So it says DARPA centipedes, high mems, making clicking, rattling noises in my throat. Prof audio recording Tascam. And I think this cannot be caused by breathing, by normal breathing. There has to be something else going on. So this is not normal wheezing anymore, basically. But it's quite rare that they do this. So perhaps it's just slime, basically. It's nothing to worry about. And if they have a cure, then it cannot happen to you all.
Hello, flipflip@yahoo.com. Your story sounds far-fetched, unfathomable even, but I've learned not to decide much about anything. Here is my advice: try neem. In other words, eat powdered, ground neem plant, and stuff it into empty capsules. Capsules you can buy at a vitamin store. Neem you.
Thanks for your tip, I appreciate it, but I think that all plants are basically harmless to centipedes. They love plants, they usually live on the floor, underneath rocks, etc., shunning the light. Or nocturnal predatory scavengers. So they come out at night like the lions, so the lions don't sleep tonight at all. The lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, a mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
You can buy in bulk in herb section of health food places, like Whole Foods, Trader Joe, and others. If you can't find one, Zerbos in Michigan carries it. Neem is a natural insecticide. I don't know a dose. Start with 3-4-0-0 size, see how the body tolerates, and increase daily from there. By one, I imagine. I only found you because I've had 2 dreams of pulling/yanking/snatching live parasites that looked like centipedes out of my skin, body. I thought the dream odd and googled parasite that looks like centipede. Maybe the dream was merely prompting me to offer this data to you. It should work. Also buy neem oil and rub onto your skin from a local vitamin place. Skin delivery. Additionally, will increase the amount absorbed by the body and may halt any more external bites. 2. Also, thirdly, get rid of your waterbed and buy a regular mattress. Get away from the water source. Centipedes are attracted to damp, dark places. Blessings. Heather, from Heather's Mobile Android. From my Android phone on Darket Mobile, the first nationwide 4G network.
So if people could help us, it would be wonderful. I have lots more of these emails of people that write me they have centipedes in their body. I've covered some of them in my previous broadcasts as well, but I have not found any effective cure yet, so I offer €150 reward for anybody with a cure for centipedes in the human body. My father also has them, and lots of people have contacted me, so as soon as I find one I'll let you know via YouTube. And I've also thought about emailing everyone. I might do that with the people that have attempted to help me and others with this problem. Somebody wrote about laxatives in combination with pineapple juice, a certain type of laxatives. I've tried that. Perhaps I should try a higher dosage. I can easily do that, so I should try that. But if they're also in my brain and they're in my throat and behind my anus, then I think that that won't do a fucking thing, to put it bluntly. So I'm just picking a pipe. I don't want to dwell upon this too long, as they say. It is kind of depressing to see all these disgusting centipedes and insects. Horrifying, really. And that's why they do it with these centipedes and why they have high MEMS. It's all part of psychological warfare, and it's not an info war, but a real war. When people are trying to depopulate you, then they're your enemy. These Jesuits and Masons always trying to tell you where your enemies are, but never the ones to fight and to die, or to get their hands dirty. Well, to get their hands dirty, I think they do that, but never the ones to fight and to die. So their only rule is never get caught, basically. So I'm not going to cover the rest. Alright, I want to see myself light my cool pipe. So I've made it clear I'm tortured to death. They've also tortured my teeth out of my mouth. I can show you my teeth. So single ladies are welcome for a free shield to hand massage or to have sex. They're not in my dick and etc. I can use a condom. So if you don't sleep here or with other people that have centipedes in their body, I think there's no risk to you in reality. I eat my sperm regularly. And for doctors and psychiatrists, I've made a video titled "Why There Cannot Be Centipedes in My Body," because I had to claim there are no centipedes in my body to get out of the hospital. They've quote evaluated and quote me. So they're in on it. These doctors hear a fucking voice that tells them what to do. It tells them this is not a directed energy weapon torture victim at all. It's some sick psycho, pedo-homo, necro-cannibal, and we should depopulate this person. And we're the intelligence agency, so you have to do exactly what we say, otherwise we torture you with our directed energy weapons, etc. Or whatever. Without synthetic telepathy, you will never know what they really are told and what they hear in their skull and what they think themselves. So reading the human mind without this technology is impossible, and with it is definitely possible. It's the Mijdrecht patent, so that's proven beyond any reasonable doubt. Like the fact that cancer chemtrails are not a conspiracy theory but conspiracy fact as well. Project Cloverleaf, and before 1998 there were no long white lines in the sky. Made by the CIA's evergreen aviation, depopulating the Earth, of course. They see that as something noble. And they've released these serial killers from jail, pardoning them. Obama pardoning some murderers or whatever. Alex Jones, Control the Position, has also reported about many of these things anyway. So beware, Control the Position. I've reported about it in my previous broadcasts. Boycott all these Monsanto companies, Coca-Cola, Kellogg's, Unilever. Top GMO brands to avoid. GMO food as a sterilizing weapon. Hollow point bullets. Burn it with fire. VU meter hanging. VU meter was hanging. Burn it with fire is what I say. But of course I have to put on my anti-global government thing. Let's do the program.
The Anti-Global Government Movement Program founded 2608-2017, exposing controlled opposition, exposing depopulation methods and offering solutions, exposing the sick Jews and others that want to depopulate the earth, exposing those that wish to destroy the U.S., letting tax-exempt corporations pay a small amount of tax as well. Stop spending on defense. Start spending on achieving negligible senescence in humans. For regulating the influx of immigrants. For applying the 4 phases of reversed active measures. Reversed ideological subversion. 1. Humanization. 2. Stabilization. 3. Generating economic surge. 4. Demilitarization. Separate church and state. 4. Organizing peaceful anti-global government demos or mobilizing the Occupy movement. If you do not have a plan, the pedo elite have one meaning: you will be depopulated if you do not have a plan. Subversion, Latin subvertere, overthrow, refers to a process by which the values and principles of a system in place are contradicted or reversed, an attempt to transform the established social order and its structures of power. authority, hierarchy, and norm, social. The people who want to destroy the U.S. to impose their totalitarian global government upon its people and the people of the world that have infiltrated the governments are the subversives, that's clear. We have sworn to protect the U.S. against these enemies, foreign and domestic. Ideology, from Greek, is a comprehensive set of normative beliefs, conscious and unconscious ideas, that an individual, group or society has. Later used in a sense impractical theorizing, 1813. Meaning systematic set of ideas, doctrines first recorded 1909. We have to apply old strategies and knowledge to achieve our goal, creating a perfect society in which we all will live happily eternally and in which maximum fulfillment is bestowed upon every living organism should be the goal of every government. More of us must spend money on control of the aging factors and more doctors and professors should help control these factors that control aging before we grow old. Once these factors can be controlled, we can focus on growing younger to the age we want to be. Everything is possible because everything is energy. The best suitable form of government must be implemented. First, all factors that control aging must be controlled.
My computer is really too slow, so donations are welcome via universalpeace.jimdo.com. And not everything is possible. If time is not energy, then resurrection might never become possible.
Any and all wars must be avoided and halted until all factors that control aging can be controlled. We are not for destroying the current system but for slowly changing it into the most optimal system. Life, love, law, universal peace now. May you all join hands and protect each other against the evil depopulators. Love, peace and prosperity. Ulrich B.C. Kaufman. This was written to inspire the people that will form the real anti-global government movement, hopefully before it's too late to save you all and themselves. Our timeline from people that are trying to turn it into a Luciferian timeline. Good luck, may the people be with you. Beware of and expose controlled opposition. Understand they exist mainly to prevent real resistance to their precious bloody global government. HAARP, weather modification, and Hurricane Harvey and conspiracy chat. Hurricane Harvey sure fits in with creating a crisis big enough like more ISIS attacks and a world war over Iran. Is Hurricane Harvey weather warfare? Page 1, above.
I've read that these man-made earthquakes miss a preamble natural earthquakes always have on the seismographic charts. And if that's true, then they are definitely capable of creating earthquakes and hurricanes, also by modifying the jet stream, but it's done with scalar waves. I think that there's a lot of nonsense about ionospheric heaters, that they bounce signals of the ionosphere and all that crap. These scalar waves, some types travel faster than the speed of light, and they go through all materials known to man, so they go straight through the Earth, and they generate an electromagnetic field with the characteristics they desire at the point where the beams converge.
Top secret above topsecret.com. Harvey, steered into Texas coast by microwave burst, HAARP. From trenchworldreport.com, they are using wireless energy. Nikola Tesla's death ray, no microwaves for that. This microwave burst article may be a controlled opposition article. Weather modification, HAARP climate control can kill nations US 2. dailystar.co.uk news. Latest news Jan 7, 2017, US military minds are developing a super weapon to control the weather in bid for total dominance on the dawn of World War III. HAARP may be a fake facility open to the public every 6 years, but there are many ionospheric heaters around the world. It is possible the weather is totally controlled by them already and they lie about this as well. Otherwise people would hold them responsible. Spliffifiable measures. Augustus Invictus. Comment to the video, wake up, depopulation plan by over 90%. Join the anti-global government movement, AGGM. Check my channel for more info. Is it possible YouTube is selectively blocking my content? Wherechange.org equals controlled opposition. Beware. Dematerialized, atomized. Things I write down can also be to remind myself or to make me think, oh yeah, I played that movie around that time, or to have an idea of what I was investigating or studying. Proof depopulation agenda is well underway. Freedom Fighter 500 on YouTube. Comment to the video. Charlottesville, VA hoax, the smoking gun. Vegan warrior.
Basically, I'm wondering what is causing the hanging of the speech engine when there's enough CPU. It's only at 45%. These iTunes updates are also pretty annoying. If I do this, then it won't remind me again, I guess. Perhaps there's another setting for that. So it's weird. It seems that the slideshow is causing the problem.
There were 3 cars and just one driver. Who were the other 2? Was Heather Heyer buried or cremated? But how do the shadows confirm that this is fake footage? Check my channel for more info.
They control somehow how the speech engine sounds. She sounded really like angry when reading was Heather Heyer buried or cremated, etc. So they can make it sound happy or angry, etc. And perhaps it's done by time-traveling neural networks, as this helps, or basically controlled the minds of the people that made the voice, the text-to-speech engine.
An LOL here and there. LOLs are everywhere. CRISIS actors. Enjoy. Gag me delinquent. The capital pill ring. YouTube. How to make 9mm jacketed hollow point bullets. Tactical pursuit. 52k views. Game makers. There might be crisis actors that can really cry as well. So then there's still hope. Lol. Sexual suppression. Thought suppression. Psychic suppression. Total brain control with synthetic telepathy. Milik patent. Antifa plans civil war to overthrow Trump on November 4. Seeking the truth. 3,280 views 3 hours ago. Controlled collapse. Rothschild just sold massive amounts of U.S. assets. Abu 77. August 27, 2017. Rothschild just sold massive amounts of U.S. assets. NWO report.me. The Oracle August 20. Infinite universal peace. How could a brain parasite enter the skull with minimal effort? The most efficient and least destructive options seem to be to enter through the nostril, nasal cavity or eye socket where the brain brain casing is thinnest or absent and drenched in insulating mucus. A prion in Zion. True story. Ola Abba. Flying to McDonald's on my paramotor Tucker got 438K 7,621,086 views.
Over 7 million views, that's a fun video also. And I've protested against McDonald's by baking pancakes in front of McDonald's. And that has prevented people from going in. It was about McDonald's cutting rainforests, etc. Not so much about the low wages and unhealthy food with silicone in it and even human body parts, according to some sources online. And what was the other thing? Not many vegetarian things. And these buns might stay alright for years, basically. There are videos about it online. There's also a video of a person that sold an old hamburger of a couple of years old for a high amount, high price.
Unprotected groups must also be protected. They have paid tax money to be protected and served. Execute murderers that advocate depopulating the earth first. A fair trial is impossible because synthetic telepathy and directed energy torture weapons are real. What the Jews done to Athens is what the Jews are doing to Olarian democracies today. Smile Asahiam Wolfgard 506 views. Execute if orders. They really believe they are educated, but in reality, they have been brainwashed with lies. They cannot control their own brainwave because it's electromagnetic. I am not for boycotting Israel but for boycotting all Monsanto companies worldwide. So where are the statistics that show what percentage of the best jobs is taken by Jewish people? What do I have to search on? Jewish forced sterilization on black Ethiopian Jews. Starmanger 4 years ago 93,408 views. The Beasler. All Christians are Jew lovers. The same fictional God. These may be ideas put in their brains by the neural network. More important than Jesus's anti-Semitism. Judaism. Gay goy guy game. Silenced on the islands. Samite SM. Debating the Holocaust illegal? To find out who's the dictator, look at what is censored. My comment to the video. New website. It's the Jews. Check it out at www.itsthejews.com. It's best to be prepared with a radiological water filter and storable food, peanut butter, rice, peas, for the third Jew-founded Jesuit world war, over Iran. There is no good reason not to prepare. If you are in a big city, you need a shelter to stay below the blast wave. I need more people for my anti-global government movement. Loyola was a crypto Jew. Their shield has wolves on it, that's why Alex calls us sheeple. Do not let controlled opposition fool you. From the website itsthejews.com's what you need to know first page. Some points with my response to these points on there. Jews admit there was no Holocaust. I doubt it. Most do not. Controlled opposition might. Questioning the Holocaust is a crime. No. It's an illegal law. Debating the Holocaust should be legit. Antifa are fascist haters. Truth does not fear investigation. Free speech. Good point. But the right to free speech is not absolute. You cannot go accusing the people depopulating you. Lol. Itsthejews.com. They are the Jews. It's known. There are many non-Jews involved in depopulating Earth as well. and those of us that expose this most atrocious crime ever perpetrated against humanity. It's the Jews sounds more like a smoothie commercial to me. Thesog.info. Many people are in prison right now for simply disagreeing with the official Jewish story of the Holocaust. So it's proven beyond any reasonable doubt 6 million Jews did not die in the Holocaust, but you still go to jail if you tell the truth about it, even if you are an 80-year-old lady. In some countries, probably, whites themselves have been enslaved by the millions, throughout European history, by the Jewish slave trade. subvertednation.net/JewListsAndTitrators.com. It's wrong to blame old Jewish people for something a couple of evil Jews have done. Not old Jews are Luciferian cannibals depopulating the earth slurping blood. The page Jews admit there was no Holocaust contains 2 YouTube videos. 1. Jewish professor Da Mergu says Holocaust complete fake. When I click on it the message, "This content is not available on this country" domain appears. 2. Former religious Jew on Holocaust myths, a Brother Nathaniel Foundation video. So the idea is, you have to believe otherwise you could expose their voice of God weapon. People that are stupid enough to believe can also expose it, however they are helping to cover for the voice of God weapon with their lie that there is a God to make it easier to depopulate the earth. Perhaps we should hate old believers and Jews because that's what they do not allow. Hating is worse than depopulating, in their eyes. In the eyes of the judges I mean. Depopulating is allowed, anti-Semitism and racism are not. Otherwise people that advocated depopulating would be arrested. Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA, is an American immigration policy established by the Obama administration in June 2012. The policy allows some individuals who entered the country illegally as minors to receive a renewable 2-year period of deferred action from deportation and eligibility for a work permit. As of 2017, approximately 800,000 individuals, referred to as Dreamers after the DREAM Act bill, were enrolled in the program created by DACA. In 2017 President Trump decided to end it. How many of the Dreamers are still children and what percentage of them is criminal? Eco-tax money scam. ISIS wants to get juice. Illegal alienation. Statements based on the video. Things Donald Trump has said about the Pope. CNN.com. They're jokes. It's satire. Fake news or fake nukes? Yes, you weeds. Harpicanes and harpquakes. The pop jewels. The meek shall inherit the urns. Heather Heyer died by a heart attack. The MSM lied. Again. Lauren Rose 5,669 views. There was a forensic report. It says not consistent with vehicular homicide. Rumor has it, she was on top of the car hood. While she was attacking the car, she might have been hit by a baseball bat. James Field's car had been hit by a brick and a pole before the crash. There is a lot more to this story. The only video shown on the news was from a deep state operative. It has been highly edited. There were helicopters on opposite ends of that alley. Maybe one of those helicopters had video of what actually happened and coincidentally crashed. The driver of the first vehicle has never been interviewed and this report from forensics has never been released. The helicopter chase from the scene has never been released, etc. My feeling is, everyone there was threatened with prosecution if they talked. Comment by Wishgrant Lotus on reddit.com. Stglama 2 points 4 days ago. According to her mother, she died of a heart attack. Mach 9er. It looked like the guy performing CPR killed her. Ducademia. Nuts. ZionCrumFactory.com has disappeared like DailyStormer.com and Stormfront.org and can still be found with cachedpages.com. Just click on a date like March 3, 2013 to get a working version of the website. Under the heading My Video Productions we read the titles of the following videos: History They Don't Teach, Jewish Terrorism. History They Don't Teach, Jewish Bolshevism. Jewish Communists, Butchers from Hell. Holocaustianity, Zionism's Big Lie. Kosher Sionspiracy Theorists. The only conspiracy that makes sense, Jewish war against Gentiles. the Jewish final solution to Germans and other Gentiles. These videos may still be available on YouTube or on the web. Header of the website reads, "The truth shall set you free, the opposite may be true." Subjects divided in the following categories: JWO Unmasked, Masters of Deception, Patriota Lies about Hitler and the 6 Million Myth, The Holocaust, Myth, Nuclear Deal in Danger, World War III, 3 new MSM articles Israeli Intel Minister, Suspend Amend Annul. My latest YouTube videos on the Iran nuclear deal and Iran not allowing inspections, Nuclear Deal in Danger, World War III, 3 new MSM articles Israeli Intel Minister, Suspend Amend Annul. Additional protocol to the International Atomic Energy Agency safeguards nuclear agreement IAEA 12/9/2017. Fascism is a form of radical authoritarian nationalism, characterized by dictatorial power, forcible suppression of opposition, and control of industry and commerce. Fascists believe that liberal democracy is obsolete, and they regard the complete mobilization of society under a totalitarian one-party state as necessary to prepare a nation for armed conflict and to respond effectively to economic difficulties. Two fasces, the symbol of fascism. In Congress, 2 fasces appear on either side of the flag of the United States behind the podium in the United States House of Representatives, and were added to the chamber's decor during the remodeling project of 1950. It's right there, in plain view, and nobody says a thing. Because it doesn't represent fascism. Reddit.com. The Grand Seal of Harvard University inside Memorial Church is flanked by 2 inward-pointing fasces. My new theory is that they will succeed at creating their crisis big enough, since creating a crisis and killing people is a lot easier than creating an economic surge and making everybody eternal, or not. Video, Trump playing a risky game on Iran nuclear deal. CNN fake news article review. According to Richard S. Patterson and Richard Sandaugal, a new ad coeptus, meaning favor our undertakings, and the other motto on the reverse of the Great Seal, Novus Ordo Seclorum, meaning New Order of the Ages, can both be traced to lines by the Roman poet Virgil. The pedo-Jews depopulating the earth are unsubscribing people from various YouTube channels to depopulate the earth. Several people have reported about this. So they pretend to be rabbis, Christians and Muslims, believers, but in reality they are Freemasons, and all Freemasons are Luciferians. And there are many of them. YouTube Jews covertly censoring truth channels. False or true? Tube unsubscribing people, cog continuity of government. Those terms of service. Why can't I be you? Why can't I eat you? Why can't I do you? Perhaps I can. Who knew? All their deters. These annoying criminal leftist elements must be removed. Fighting the info fart. On the morning of March 22, 2016, 3 coordinated suicide bombings occurred in Belgium. Wiki/2016_Brussels_bombings. The date 322 is not only the emblem of America's leading CIA Freemasonic elite group, Skull.
It's scientifically proven that it's healthier to be vegetarian, and its sperm is healthier than lemonade.
And Bones. 322 is also the culmination of the 3-day satanic feast of Pelusa, consisting of, get this, the invocation of Isis. Humancerfree.com. The Tom Cruise movie Jack Reacher has a cancer-causing tachinatorless car in it with 2 stripes on it, like the Charlottesville car had visible on some of the pictures and did not have any in the videos. I have not.
I did a separate video about this with the Tom Cruise movie, which is actually pretty good. With the car with the 2 stripes on it. It's a sports type of car, basically, sports car. Many of them have it. Perhaps I can retrieve that original article. I see the link here, okay.
Verified this yet. The movie just reminded me of it. Some claim the car was driven by a police officer and that his badge was visible. Also, in the video we see the driver was wearing a white shirt, but the person that was arrested, possible patsy, was wearing a black and white striped shirt on the mugshot. Dodge Challenger missing stripes in Charlottesville, hoax or red herring? The following web page shows a picture of the car with the stripes and they claim this is the Charlottesville car in the article. timesofisrael.com/Charlottesville car ramming suspect idolized Hitler Nazism ex-teacher says dailymail.co.uk also shows a picture of the damaged car with the black stripes on the hood. dailymail.co.uk/news/article 47852446/moment car hits crowd Charlottesville rally.html. The same Daily Mail webpage shows a video of the car being attacked and trying to get away from the attackers with the baseball bat, but the car in the video is missing these black stripes on the hood! Exclamation marks. And a screenshot of the Charlottesville car video with the stripes missing. All on the same page. Fascinating. Charlottesville car pictures or video fake? Missing stripes similar car in Tom Cruise movie verified. ACO on the stairway to have fun. Maybe may not be. Okay everybody, save each other. An Iran war is coming, by cancer oil stocks now seeking alpha.com article review WW3 prep, NSA/MI5 blocking broadcasts. OBS disconnected. Internet connection not working from time to time. Department of Holland Security. Deep state thought. Zog my cog. Continuity of government instead of continuity of society. Zionist-occupied government. A deep state. A deep went away. A flame. Throw her. Internal offers. 33rd degree Freemasons exposed and all controlled by the high-level Jesuits Slimzy Majan 3 years ago 15,662 views. Zoggy and Coggy. Trump signals he will choose approach on Iran that preserves nuclear deal New York Times 7 hours ago.
Hurting my right brain half a bit again, which may also be done with directed energy weapons. So here on the Daily Mail Co.uk page we see a picture of the supposed car with the driver wearing a white shirt and a seatbelt also. And here on the mugshot this person is wearing a white and black striped shirt, so how is that possible? And here we see these black stripes on the car, and on the screenshot of the video these black stripes are completely missing. So many millions of people think that this was another fake attack, and the story they have is also that it was not an attack. This car was attacked by people with baseball bats and the person was trying to get away. So basically it was an attack from the alt-left Antifa initially, and the alt-right is also claiming that they were set up, that it was a setup, they couldn't go anywhere else and they were attacked. And of course the alt-left has no right to interfere with their protests. They have a permit and the alt-left did not have a permit, etc. Oh yeah, and they're beating people with baseball bats, and these people beating them with the baseball bats call them haters, basically. It's also very funny.
Without the Iran nuclear deal there would not be any excuse to bomb these facilities where Iran officials do not allow inspections, breaching the IAEA protocol of the Iran nuclear agreement. Israel has nukes. Shouldn't Israel be sanctioned as well? Iran is a party to the NPT but was found in non-compliance with its NPT Safeguards Agreement, and the status of its nuclear program remains in dispute. Iran and numerous Arab states have criticized Israel for not signing the NPT wiki/treaty_on/the non-proliferation of nuclear weapons. So shouldn't Israel be sanctioned for not signing the NPT? Are the missile shields 100% effective against whole nukes? Not ridding ourselves of these nuclear weapons is insane. We should work towards removing all weapons of self-destruction. Dismantling nukes is still cheaper than World War III and MAD. So what's ISIS gonna do? Deadly ISIL attacks hit southern Iraq's Thikar. Al Jazeera.com 9/15/2017. 18 soldiers killed in ISIL ambush in Egypt's Sinai. Al Jazeera.com September 11, 2017. So ISIS still exists, supposedly. So they are hitting themselves? Killing their own people? Trump really is bombing the shit out of ISIS just like he promised Newsweek 16 hours ago. Iran nuclear deal, CBS News. Nikki Haley to attend meeting on the Iranian nuclear deal. CBS News 2 hours ago. Real clear politics. Tillerson, there have to be changes made to Iran nuclear deal, or Iran will follow North Korea's path. Real clear politics 8 hours ago. Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty. Changes needed in Iran nuclear deal to win U.S. support, Tillerson says. Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty 14 hours ago. Express.co.uk, a grave error. Emmanuel Macron hits back at Trump over Iran nuclear deal. Express.co.uk 1 hour ago. Related coverage 11:24. French president urges Trump to honor Iran nuclear deal. CNN.
So according to the New York Times article that I've covered in my broadcasts, the IAEA is claiming that they first need a list of suspect sites before they can do these inspections. And there's still some time if they are going to create this third Jesuit World War. Then that could be next month. So it's better to be prepared with the radiological water filter and storable food. You could argue there is no excuse if you're in civilized society. There's no excuse for not preparing for this stuff, and then you cannot expect others to help you, to give you clean water and everything you need, because it won't be there like the Second World War, where people were starving of starvation. Starving of starvation. They're dying of starvation. So also millions of German people died. I think it's to be avoided. War is always a crime. And to also mention universal peace, I think that's a good idea, so people have a choice basically. Perhaps somebody that controls that button is listening to your broadcast, and then you have to say something that makes sense. And there are people that would blow up the world with themselves on it if they could. I don't doubt it, but most of the 7 billion people are not murderers. And they're not into depopulating Earth, just trying to survive it themselves and make life as livable as possible, to have a good time. And so I've covered how to prevent that Iran World War, the third Jesuit World War of Iran. So Iran could allow these inspections, then they cannot have any complaints anymore. Some people are hell-bent on creating a nuclear world war, and then they want to be able to blame it on Iran, to make Iran look like the bad guys. And the internet would be erased, so put all the evidence of their depopulation and global government plans on a CD-ROM, because after an EMP it is gone. If it's not on a CD-ROM or DVD. There are also other types that can store more information for longer periods of time, but they're not that common, they're not used that much. Another strange thing is that my CD-ROM is not working at all, I think. I don't know if I've disconnected it. And they may do that with wireless energy. They can fry circuits, lamps explode above your head, and they can do so much with synthetic telepathy, it's incredible. So basically it's a neural network that they call God to keep unclear that it's a neural network and not an entity. And they've used this voice to skull technology, the voice of God weapon, to make the Iraqi people surrender themselves. There's also a version of Tintin in America, perhaps, or whatever, where he uses a record player and stuff to give Negro the idea that he is hearing the voice of God or something. And these Tintin cartoons are downloadable online, so that's cool as well. I have downloaded them, I haven't read any of them yet, so I think I've read all of them when I had these cartoon books myself. I also had a Lucky Luke with 3 Daltons and stuff. But everything I owned was basically stolen. More about this in my previous broadcast. I don't talk about it much, because it's not important. Getting these centipedes out of my body is my priority number 1. To find a cure also for the other people that have them inside their body. And I think it's in your advantage to get this documented, because these people are depopulating the earth. And when people know that you exist, and they might wonder what happened to that person, etc. And they might kill you for the evidence, basically. So if you know of something that they're doing that's illegal, and you do not report about it, they might kill you if you know about that, and that's to leave no trace of evidence, to never get caught. So you have to cover yourself, etc. I can click on Iran nuclear deal. There were some other articles that I saw recently. So then I can do a separate broadcast about it. So let's temporarily halt this broadcast for universal peace. Please remember to like and subscribe. You can always check my channel by clicking on my name here underneath this video. Okay, and then you can check more interesting videos and subjects on my channel. Thank you all for watching. Have a good one. Hydrate, breathe, masturbate, do healing things, and don't let the bastards grind you down or whatever. You 2 singers, also Jewish, I've read. And again, I think that it's impossible that all Jews are involved in depopulation. When children are born, they cannot even speak yet, they cannot be depopulating the earth. However, a voice to skull technology and directed energy weapon torture are real, and I think that it's mainly the Jesuits and Freemasons depopulating the earth. So trust no one, nothing is what it seems. There are lots of non-Jews involved in this as well. Universal peace forever.